Okay, hello everyone. This is like my 10th take, so let's try it again. My name is Adriana Pulley, and this is my unit plan and calendar for methods, English methods class. Okay, so looking at my class information, I teach 7th grade. I have about 150 7th graders that I teach. This unit will take about 5 to 6 weeks to complete. Just briefly to go over my classroom demographics, I teach about 150 7th graders throughout my day, and of those, there are about 6 students who are ELL bridging. There are about 10 students who either have a 504 or an IEP plan, and 10 students who have been identified as gifted and or talented. Racial demographics are about evenly split, 25% white, African American, Latino, Asian. And moving on along, this unit plan will be covering the full text The Giver by Lois Lowry. Some things that we're trying to hit on: essential questions, what makes a just society, content, theme, symbolism, also writing effective summaries, claim, evidence, and reasoning. Here you can see the standards that are covered and my objectives as well. Those larger literary objectives, summarizing, outline more here, utilizing strategies such as most important words and 15-word summary strategies. And moving on, annotation, some assessments. So assessments, students will have 2 pre-formative assessments: the no red ink writing diagnostic to gauge what they already know and where the struggles lie with their writing. The anticipation guide is like a survey before you start reading The Giver, and it's to get students thinking about those topics and themes that they're going to see occur throughout the novel. And I did a Kahoot because students love Kahoots, they're fun, and it's not even a competition, but they just like being able to use the technology. So some statements here, they just have to say whether they agree or disagree. It's better to be free than to be safe. Sometimes it's okay to lie. Life would be better if there were no pain. We don't need to study history, etc. Going back to the unit plan, formative assessments, literature circles. Students are engaging in at least 2 literature circles where they'll have some roles that are broken down. I'll get into those a bit later. I just want to briefly show you that in a second. Claim paragraph writing, reading comprehension questions, and a aesthetic seminar. This will all culminate in a book jacket project where students will be examining themes through writing a claim paragraph and summarizing the novel. So again, those strategies we wanted to cover: summarizing and explaining the meaning of key symbols. Differentiation, and moving that along, past materials, procedures, things we do daily in my classroom. Here you can get a look at the RTL rubric that we use. I don't know if I have it pulled up here. So aiming for this level. Going back. So yeah, starting out the unit, covering the lottery and Langston Hughes' I-Chasing America, just to start thinking about those questions, and then moving into traditions, rituals, and things that we value as a society. On Friday, they'll pick that diagnostic. Moving right along, we'll start out with The Giver by examining similar young adult novels that students are more familiar with: The Hunger Games, Divergent, and again, that anticipation survey that I showed you earlier. Thinking about setting again, they've already seen setting in the lottery. We're here, day 1, we're engaging in a read of chapter 1, and the teacher should really be modeling for students what purposeful annotation looks like, and they're mimicking that, because they will have homework assignments where they are looking for certain things that they have to annotate. So for example, on Friday, they'll be annotating 3 moments of suspense in the novel after learning about suspense here. Dynamic Black characters, most important word strategy, just to show you that. So this will focus on getting students to really make those purposeful, effective summaries. Moving on along. So this week students will do their first claim paragraph, and that will start out with a teacher modeling how they're going to go about that using this worksheet, choosing a character you can model for them using a character from the Hunger Games, choosing those adjectives that describe them, and then really honing in on one in particular to write about in your claim and use evidence to support and reasoning to explain. I'll head it back. So, also students will be engaging in their first literature circle here on chapters 10 and 11. Also discussing symbolism, beginning to think about that, and they'll be examining the rubric for their project, which is here. So you can see in the rubric that it is a culmination of everything that they have been working towards. And let me just zoom in on that for you. So we have a summary, so 30-45 word long summary of the whole story, writing a claim paragraph on theme, and examining those symbols as well. And there's a section in presentation readiness. Moving on along from here, we're going to see that annotation, they'll be coming back to that throughout the unit. Again, the second literature circle to examine symbolism. And next week, we're going back to that strategy for summarizing. Students will be having time to work on their project at home this week. Conflict, Socratic seminar. And last week will just be presentations. So students, as I said, will be doing a presentation preparation workshop. Students are learning how to give a presentation. And then Tuesday and Wednesday will be presentations, and students are required to take notes on those. And the last 2 days, looking back to that standard where we examine and compare a written text to its filmed counterpart. We'll be watching the Giver movie, and students are required to compare and contrast the movie and the book. Okay? And I think that's about it. Let me make sure there's nothing I left out. Oh, I wanted to take a look quickly at the literature roles, just briefly. I know I'm over time here. So, what I like about the literature circles is that the roles really play on students' strengths. So maybe this person's a strong reader, they will get to read out loud, they like reading out loud. People who don't like that so much, maybe a drawer, can be the visualizer, question master, someone who maybe doesn't feel comfortable saying that they don't understand all the time, but they do have a lot of questions, they just don't want to say them. You can make that their job. They can be the question master, and then they won't feel uncomfortable about asking those questions because that's their job. Word detective, this person is doing vocabulary using their tablet or dictionaries to find those meanings. And I think that's all I wanted to cover. So thank you so much for your time, and I hope you enjoyed my unit plan or just maybe got something out of it. Thank you so much.